But just like that game had a really good like reason to come back over and over again.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff hidden in there. Like I said, I mean, I hit 104%, 109, something like that. It's much like Symphony of the Night.
Preposterous.
It's one of those like exceeds 100%.
Why is that
games.
preposterous?
It's over 100% is just means it's the new 100%, and then that 100% is bigger.
You can't beat 100%.
That's exactly
206% beat 100% years ago.
That's 206% is the actual 100%. They're just lying to you.
Well, this one only goes to like 117. I think I read. So.
See, that's
all good.
Those fat cats up on Capitol Hill.
That's right.
All good.
Map percentage completion inflation is a real problem.
Fat cats.
The fat cats up on Capitol Hill.
Are they actual cats?
Yes.
In business suits?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are they in dust?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There are cats in
well,
tailored
that story
suits.
really does go a weird place.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, I hope people can get over their fucking knee-jerk
if the thing
furry
if you think you're into this game, the thing that's stopping you from playing it is that the characters are talking animals, like just re-examine the priorities in your life.
Yeah.
Or your own base
I feel like
insecurities,
that's
maybe.
just the hating something because people. I feel like it's the gingers thing. Like,
kind of.
I don't know where that came from, but I'm gonna assume it's the UK because it was like, yeah, I grew up. There were redhead kids around, and whatever. They were redhead kids. Sure. But then I want to say in my 20s, all of a sudden there was this influx of, gingers. We're calling them gingers now, and we hate them. I'm like, wait, what?
Like, what?
What? I think it's just cool. It's just cool to hate on that.
Yeah.
So, and I think like I don't actually find the aesthetic all that like particularly interesting to myself, but it's
like,
so technically excellent.
It's well done, and like there's nothing like
it's not
inherently offensive about it.
That wouldn't be like my favorite art style, but it looks it's so well done. The execution's so nice.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know how you can't look at it and be, especially knowing the background of its development and being like, that's fucking amazing.
Sure.
Like I think that's absolutely insane.
So it was
pretty
much a dude,
more or less. Yeah.
I'm sure there was obviously there's
voice actors.
There's help to that.
A lot of voice actors. The voice acting is excellent. Like it's really well done, and more than the fact that the characters are acted well. Like it's hard to put your finger on, but like the line readings are all appropriate to like the conversations that are taking place. You know what I mean? Like, when games give you that sense that like, I mean, granted, every voice actor does probably record all their lines in a vacuum, not with other people sitting there to play off of.
But you can tell a lot of the time.
But you can tell a lot of the time that like the inflections in the sentence aren't even natural for like what they're kind of comment they're responding to or something like that. Like everything in this game flows in a way that it all sounds believable. Yeah, it all sounds like somebody was sitting there directing this stuff.
Right.
I mean, it seems like
knew what exactly what it was supposed to sound like.
It seems like more and more that those problems are not like, oh, that guy's a shitty voice actor. It's like, well, that was probably not good voice direction if this was the take that was allowed to come through.
Sure. Yeah, totally. It's definitely
like that. That seems like that is as important a part of the process as someone who knows how to coax the right performance out of their voice actors.
I mean, honestly, if you like kind of put your thumb up to the screen and cover up the button noses and the tails or whatever, like they're just characters with like problems and personalities. Like it's.
Is that how you played the game? Can you play this one hand?
Actually put tape over the screen.
Okay, all right,
in a couple places.
Good call.
And then I didn't have to think about it anymore.
Nice, yeah. Get that filth out of your life.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Vanillaware stuff.
Yeah, totally. A lot of people were making those comparisons.
Even if you didn't look at the anthropomorphic animal side of it, that would 100% look like a Vanillaware game to me.
Sure.
And those games look fucking fantastic. So deal with it, Congress.
Don't pass that anti-dust law. 405B.
Like Patrick,
US
vote against
out of my Xbox Live.
I think you're totally right. It's
the internet. The internet has demonized furry culture,
it's become like an othered group that's like safe to hate on.
But it's also to me
because you're
it's
not
like,
able to hate gay people anymore or something like that.
Yeah,
this furries are weirdos. Like I'm okay with saying that, but
like I agree, it is weird, but I don't have a problem with it.
Like that doesn't. Like allowing that, like a weird subculture to define this and be the thing, be your like primary point of reference, is fucking insane. Yeah. It's like saying like I can't play Star Fox because because some people are weird about it.
That was my favorite response to this outcry was people coming out and saying, well, here's all the other things you can't enjoy anymore if that's how you feel.
Yeah, it's like all right, if If this is the dogma that you're going to decide,
I mean, to be honest, I mean, let's be real here. Star Fox ain't all that. That first game was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Only because it was polygons on a SNES.
Sure. Either way,
I understand it, and I have some respect for the fondness for Star Fox 64.
Oh, I love Star Fox 64.
It's a weird short game, but if you were,
I wasn't actually looking to make a real point about Star Fox, but yeah, okay, that's cool too. Yeah, I think Star Fox 64 is really short. I think all that stuff's pretty short.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thought. That's you're right.
That's I played the 3DS game, was real surprised. 20 minutes later, credits rolling.
Like,
Shit.
Right.
Yeah, the game's short as hell.
I don't know. As I was writing the review, I jumped on YouTube and pulled up like some clips of the old Disney Robin Hood movie.
Yeah,
where Robin Hood is a fox.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Dropped your pants.
That's actually a really apt comparison.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty hard to get away with in the office.
I mean, but is anybody really
hard
taking
anyway.
those arguments seriously, or are they just fighting on the internet?
Like it's
just fighting on the internet,
right? So like, why even take that argument seriously?
I don't know how the game is selling. It's just that it's such a disproportionate amount of the response has just been venomously about that.
I think what ends up happening is that because it is such like an irrational way to have a conversation about that game, then you get like people. Like on our side, that play the game and think it's really interesting, and it just gets so infuriated that any vocal minority would detract from what otherwise a quality product by this completely irrational, baseless argument.
Yeah.
But then,
non-issue.
but then those just mount on top of each other as we were doing right now, and then ends up dominating the conversation.
You really can't argue against it.
Yeah,
you're right.
There's really nothing there.
It's
right.
irrational bias. But
it's like saying like there's a female protagonist in this game. Why? I hate this game. I hate women.
Yeah.
It's about time you finally came out and said it.
Yeah. So
again,
get your women out of my game.
When one crackpot out of 100 comes out and says that, you ignore it. But when the Quicklook gets 300 or 400 comments and like only maybe 1 out of 20 is about anything other than that,
but
it's a little disheartening.
But is it like 19 guys arguing against the other one?
I don't know.
Like I see that stuff and it just seems so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, comments on content on the internet
that's true.
Fucked up everywhere.
Yeah.
And expecting that to be some sort of like reasonable barometer for the overall reception.
You're probably better off looking in the message boards themselves, where people are talking about it of their own volition, as opposed to the
and the guy.
It's kind of like separate communities at this point.
Right. It's
almost.
like you're not actually playing the game; you just want to say something.
He had to have known that this was going to happen.
Probably.
Like this game's been developed for so long. This culture has been demonized for a number of years.
I've seen he posts a lot on Gaff and some other places. Like I've gotten the impression several times that he's not taking this stuff all that seriously. Himself, like he's referred to the game as like my silly little animal game, and he said straight up like I wasn't making this for like the mainstream white male audience. Like if they don't like it, that's okay.
Yeah.
So
well, at the end of the day, as long as he's taking it that way, it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just you want to see quality craft rewarded.
That's the thing. That's all it is that it's such a well-made game that it deserves to be played.
Yeah.
And I don't want a lot of people to write it off for reasons that they really shouldn't.
But anybody who is doing that is, I kind of feel like not worth the time arguing.
Maybe they don't deserve to play Dust.
But the concern is like if that is dominating the conversation, people who might, be willing to check it out and see like, oh, this looks cool. Like, oh, wait, everyone's saying that it's dumb.
The proverbial swing votes.
Exactly.
Well, they hear the furry part instead of the Metroidvania part.
Yeah, sure.
And then don't think about the game.
I think from here on out, we just need to get in front of this and just start calling it Furryvania.
Right, take it back.
Yeah.